Hi, I'm Arora. I'm the founder at 8 Minutes. So, I didn't have a very happy childhood. I grew up having Arora as my role model and Fountainhead is my Bible. Every word that I read in that book, and I read it multiple times, was basically an inkling of the world of how it ought to be. The world as it ought to be. So when I quit my job a year ago and started figuring out what's the next problem that I wanted to be solving, I saw there were a lot of problems. I saw there was climate change. I saw scientists talking about being 3 minutes away from midnight. There were a lot of problems in the world, but there was also a lot of opportunities. And I want to spend some time today talking about how I came across the next big revolution. What trends that I saw are going to completely change the way that the world today is. And the last time this happened was during the 1980s, during the computer revolution. I'm specifically going to talk about a technology, and that technology is solar. Solar has been around since the 1950s. It's been inefficient, bulky, and back in the day it could just power a single light bulb. That technology is something that reminds me of 1980s in the computer revolution, when computers were something like the ENIAC back there. They were large devices which took forever, we were inefficient, slow, unaffordable. But if you look at the technology today, we have reached an efficiency in which solar panels can be installed on your home and be able to produce enough energy to power the entire home's load. Whether it's a building, whether it's a home, whether it's your workplace. The second most important thing that I noticed was the economics. So if you look at the cost of solar, it's the Moore's law in the computers. There's a similar law in solar, which is the Swanson's law, which says that every 2 years there's a doubling in manufacturing capacity and a reduction in price of about 25%. And what I read a year back was a report by the Bridge to India, and it's one of the leading energy reports in the country today. And what they talked about was very intriguing. They said in 2018, so the price of solar was going to come down to such a point that it would be more affordable than what you were currently paying to your electricity company, which means dirty energy would be more expensive than cheaper energy. And we ran that. We saw that through the report. We ran the numbers multiple times. And what we came across, my co-founder and I, he was a math whiz, was the fact that we did not have to wait till 2018. We could do it in 2015. Those numbers were wrong. They were slightly off. The actual numbers are these. If you look at the overall numbers in financial year 11, which was just a few years back, the cost of solar was 18 rupees per unit. Today in your home, you're paying about 10 rupees per unit. That's how electricity bill is measured. We're able to offer our customers today about 7 rupees per unit, between 6 to 7 rupees a unit, which means we've reached great parity. And this is a remarkable change in time. This is a transition. This is a paradigm shift in which we've been able to achieve the cost of clean energy today on your home is cheaper than what you are paying to your electricity company. So why isn't anyone talking about this? Everyone is talking about this. We weren't the only ones who had figured this out. So if you look at the country today, we have the Tatas, we have the Reliance, we have the Birlas, we have every single major company in the country today and foreign companies coming into India. And what they're doing is basically setting up solar parks. They're setting up solar parks so far away that you don't know it's happening around you. And all of this electricity is being sold directly to your electricity company. And that electricity company is charging you a premium. They're buying electricity at a cheaper rate from solar than what they're getting from coal. They're buying electricity cheaper from solar than what they're getting from coal. That's how big it is. And they're selling you power at a much more expensive rate. So what we said was we wanted to change that. We wanted to bring personal computers. What Steve Jobs did, what Microsoft did, what all the computer revolution was all about was bring personal computers to your home. We did that with solar. We're bringing solar to your rooftops, to your homes, which means that you could produce energy at a cheaper rate than what you're paying to your electricity company today, right from your very own rooftop, and with absolutely no down payments. So if you look at the idea that we are trying to sell today, it's the fact that clean energy is cheaper than dirty energy. And that's the way that the world ought to be. I'm running a little ahead. That's exactly how solar park looks. which is being set up in the middle of nowhere usually by all these solar companies. So if you look at the news today, all these solar tariff wars, different companies coming in, all these bids, it's happening far off in the distance. And what we realized is that if you want to change the way that people think, the way that people touch with sustainable products, it has to be brought into their homes, it has to be brought into their lives. And that's the sort of impact that we hope to create. That's solar at one of our clients' homes. And it's my favorite. This is one of our clients who just recently put a picture on his rooftop. So every single solar panel that we installed on our client's home, we get about 10 to 20 different referrals from each customer, because it's a technology which has reached its time. It's a technology which is there. This client has referred us about 18 different clients, schools, hospitals, homes. It's a technology which works. Yeah. 8 minutes. If you're wondering what it means, it's the amount of time it takes for sun's light to reach the earth. Yeah. 8 minutes and 20 seconds.